A few major regulations and policies affecting US power markets include a giant wave of subsidies, mostly federal, for renewable technologies and a few other zero carbon energy sources like nuclear. On the demand side, we're seeing increasing ambition from states, which are mandating a certain amount of their power grid come from renewables by 2040 or 2050. I'm Derrick Flakoll. I'm BloombergNEF's policy associate for North America. I work on policies, usually federal, that are related to the energy transition and related markets and commodities. Within the US, you've got to think about both the federal aspect and the state aspect and the different parts of power markets. On the supply side, we're seeing a lot stronger federal incentives for deploying renewables and a few other sources of zero carbon power like nuclear. On the state side, we are seeing increasing ambition and higher requirements for zero carbon electricity by 2040 or 2050, and that's going to drive up demand for clean energy. So because US factories operate closer to the end of the supply chain, they make a finished solar module or a final battery, they're ultimately going to continue to rely on imports from other countries, whether that's critical minerals from US free trade partners or solar cells and ingots, often coming from Southeast Asia. And that means that regardless of who wins, the speed of the energy transition is going to depend on what kind of trade and infrastructural partnerships the US sets up in the rest of the world. That could be shaped by what kind of mines and rail infrastructure the US supports in places like Africa. It could be shaped by what kind of critical mineral deals the US signs with partners like the European Union. And it could be shaped by what kind of tariffs the next president chooses to impose on upstream components, which will contribute to the final product. I think the real value of BloombergNEF is that we are a whole scope, whole of world, whole of supply chain solution for figuring out what decarbonization means, right? We have incredibly talented people from all walks of life, whether they're like laser physicists or economists or anything like that, from all over the world, Hong Kong, Shanghai, US, European Union, and the UK. And so because of that, we are able to tell you how the entire market works, from the polysilicon to the final solar panel. We're able to tell you how that fits in within an energy system that consists of power markets, global gas markets, coal, critical minerals, and ultimately some of the uses that energy is going to, whether that's clean hydrogen, new factories, data centers, or anything like that. And so with BNEF, you get to see the whole perspective on what the energy transition looks like, rather than just getting a narrow slice.